Hello everyone, this is Dr. Prashant, former Professor and Dean Infrastructure, Government College of Engineering, Nagpur. Today's anchor for this session. So we are in last session of the last day and particularly night session N3. So during these last two sessions, or last 2 days, we have seen day one, it was the SWOT analysis or need for this value-driven education. Second day, we have seen the vision, and today is the third day, particularly night panel. We'll be discussing with this August analyst. So how to implement or what are the implementation for this value-driven education. So to begin with, I will introduce our today's UHV point presenter. Ji Sridarshini, welcome. Yeah. So Dr. Sridarshini, she is assistant professor in electronics and communication engineering, College of Engineering, Gindi, Anna University, Chennai. She is PhD in photonics and optical communication. Please bear this situation. Okay, some sound. 6+ years of teaching experience. She is volunteering Universal Human Values from August 2023. So welcome, Sridarshini ji.
Hey, greetings to everyone.
Yeah, namaste. Then today's moderator is Dr. Ila Manoj Dedia. She is Director, Anveshanam Foundation, Trustee, Society of Dyers and Colorist, UK, Advisory Board Member, NGN Next Generation Nations, USA. She is having degree of doctorate in textile and clothing and a vast academic experience around 40 years. Former in charge principal, HOD Textiles and Fashion Technology, IQAC coordinator, University of Mumbai and Nirmala Niketan College. She is volunteering UHV from July 2020. So welcome, Dr. Ila, as a moderator. Then our August gathering, our valuable panelists are Abhishek Tripathi ji. Abhishek ji, welcome. So he is PhD graduate from Sapienza University of Rome, Italy. Doctoral research focused on yogic meditation, happiness, and well-being. His research integrates value education with ethical, cultural, and spiritual, social, and ecological dimensions. Current work explores intercultural philosophical perspectives on well-being and happiness. Then our another panelist is, so welcome Abhishek ji. Another panelist is Dr. Meenakshi Sharma. Welcome Meenakshi ji.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank
She is professor and IQAC director, R&D Global University, Bikaner, India. She is having total experience of 19 years, including teaching and industry. Her research publications in national and international journals, and she is key contributor to curriculum development and quality assurance through IQAC. So welcome, Meenakshi ji.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Our next panelist is Professor Vivekananda. Vivekananda ji, welcome.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
He is adjunct emeritus professor of IIT Bombay. He was earlier adjunct professor in IIM Bangalore, adjunct faculty at IIST Thiruvananthapuram, former research scientist at ISRO and ISC Bangalore, and he is having expertise in antenna design, RF and microwave communication. He is fellow of IEI, IPE, Aerospace Engineers Association, and IEEE member since 1984. So I welcome you.
Yes.
Yeah, Vivekananda ji, vast experience. Then our own panelist, Miss Lipika Mitra. She is parent coach, Director Bhushala. She has done her BE Electrical Fellowship in Sustainability, IT and Corporate Experience, 15 years. Social sector experience is 14 plus years, and she is volunteering for these universal human values since September 2023. So I welcome you, Lipika ji. Yeah. So I cannot see any member remaining. Sunil ji, Ila ji, on the screen. Dipali has not joined.
Yes.
Any?
Teresa is there.
Huh? Teresa is there.
Teresa.
Okay. So Teresa George is a student volunteer, and she is contributing for this UHV, and she has attended 2, 3 panel discussion along with me and Sunil ji also. So I welcome Teresa. Teresa, will you open your camera? I cannot see you. Yeah, you are there. Yeah, welcome Teresa. Yeah. Sunil ji, anybody is remaining?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think, that's it.
Yeah. So we'll start now UH point of view, and by that time, if somebody joins, I will introduce them. Okay. So,
You can also introduce Agita, Dr. Agita,
okay.
our own panelist.
Yeah. Okay. So, Dr. Geeta, she is Associate Professor, Department of Computer Science, Government Arts and Science College, Avinashi, Tamil Nadu. She is PhD, MPhil in Computer Science, and she is having collegiate experience of 25 plus years, and she is volunteering Universal Human Values since November 2020. I welcome Miss Geeta. Ji, Geeta ji, are you there? Yeah. So now I hand over the session to UHV point of view presenter, Dr. Sri Darshani Didi, and after that, again I will request to moderator after finishing of the Dr. Sri Darshani UHV point of view presentation. So over to you, Dr. Sri Darshani.
Thank you, Dr. Prashant. I will just share the screen now.
Thank you.
So hope my screen is visible. So greetings to all the respected panelists and their participants, followed by the keynote 4, which we had on today, the topic of implementation plans and programs for value-driven education. I welcome you to the panel discussion on day 3 of the 10th International Conference on Human Values in Higher Education, with the theme Empowering Youth Through Value-Driven Education for a Happy and Peaceful World. So this is a panel of special interest group, and we here focus on the higher education. Over the last 2 days, we reflected on the current condition of youth and the vision of how do we actually, or how do we go on with the value-driven education. And today we move on to the most important question. How do we actually implement the value-driven education in higher education institutions? So going on with the recap of what we have discussed in the last 2 days, on day 1, we analyzed the strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats of today's youth. We saw that the youth are intelligent, they are creative, tech savvy, and globally connected. At the same time, they face stress, anxiety, confusions, comparison, consumerism, and value conflicts. On day 2, we discussed the vision of value-driven education expressed through common graduate attributes such as holistic vision of life, socially responsible behavior, ethical conduct, health, and harmony with nature. So today, we try to bridge the gap between the vision and the practice. So today our focus will be on implementation. Value education should not only remain at the level of ideas or classroom discussion. So implementation basically means values becoming part of teaching and learning, values guiding the decision making of today's youth, and values shaping the institutional culture. So only then can education contribute to lasting happiness, social harmony, and responsible citizenship. So what are the steps to transform? So the transformation of education can happen in 3 progressive steps. Step 1 is the value education. Step 2 is the value-based education, and the step 3 will be the value-based level. So these steps ensure that values moves from understanding, integration, and living in the daily life, day-to-day life. So we'll just have a brief overview of what are these steps and how is that you actually can help in the implementation of all these things. So when we move on with the step 1, that is the value education, including UHV in the present curriculum. The first step is including the universal human values in the existing curriculum. So this step focuses on self-exploration, understanding harmony within oneself, harmony in the relationship, harmony with society and nature. So today's youth can gain clarity about what they really want in life, how relationship works, and what does it mean by having a responsible living. And there are some student-oriented initiative for the same, the key initiative, which includes the students' induction program, specifically designed for the first year UG and PG, bachelor's and master's program, mandatory UHV courses for deeper understanding, and elective UHV courses for interested students. And these initiatives help students develop emotional stability, self-confidence, ethical clarity, and a sense of purpose. Along with the students, to build the faculty and leadership capacity in the value-driven education, and for the sustainable implementation, the faculty members and leaders must also be aligned with values. So this is done through faculty induction program, faculty development programs, management development programs, and leadership development programs. So when educators themselves live values, students learn values naturally through example and environment. Followed by the first steps, the second step is the value-based education, that is integrating UHV across all the subjects. And it's not only the subject, with all the disciplines also. So here values are not treated as a separate subject, but as the foundation of professional education. So engineering, management, medicine, law, arts and science, all disciplines must be guided by ethical decision-making, social responsibility, concern for human well-being. So some of the initiatives which are being proposed here is like having the value-based projects and applications. Students and faculties should engage in socially relevant projects, environmentally responsible project, community-oriented innovation. So such projects help students to see clear impact of their knowledge, the responsibility of professionals, and the importance of sustainable development. Another way is having the interdisciplinary research and structures. So these steps also includes interdisciplinary research on human values, academic programs on ethics, sustainability, and holistic development, creation of departments or centers for value-based education. So this strengthens value education as a serious academic and research domain. Followed by which, when we move on with the third step, which is the value-based living, this is the final and most important step, and here values move beyond the curriculum into the daily life of the youth. Institutions themselves must reflect trust and transparency, mutual respect, inclusiveness, harmony with nature. So all this will make the student learn values by experiencing them daily. Some of the direction in which we can extend these things are like having the community and social outreach. Value-driven education must extend beyond the campus. Programs can be designed for communities, NGOs, government organizations, professionals, and social institutions. This helps create social harmony and ethical citizenship. We can also have the National Nodal Centers and Volunteers Network. To scale impact, we need the National Nodal Center, a volunteer network, a pro bono value-based initiatives, and administrative integration. So all those things will ensure long-term sustainability and national impact. So to summarize the day 3, we discussed a 3-step transformation, starting with the value education to value-based education and value-based living. So the transformation from value education to value-based and value-based education and value-based living will ensure, that is, this journey will ensure individual well-being, social harmony, environmental sustainability, and global peace. So thank you for your listening. I look forward to meaningful reflections and discussions on how we can collectively implement value-driven education in our institution. And this is you. Over to you, Dr. Prashant.
Ji. Thank you, Dr. Sridarsini. So before handing over to Dr. Ila, I will introduce our 2 important valuable panelists today. Engineer Sandeep Kumar ji.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So he
Thank
is
you.
Dean Academics, Puranmurti Campus, Kami, Sonipat, Haryana, India. Total experience of 13 years. He is having his qualifications like this: Diploma, BTech, MTech in Engineering, and Academic Leadership in Engineering Education. So welcome, Sandeep ji, for this
Thank
panel.
you, sir.
And our most important, valuable panelist to whom I was asking, Dr. Sunil Kumar Yan. I think you were remaining. So he is professor and HOD, Division of Civil Engineering, Cochin University College of Engineering, Kutanad, that is CUCEK, and he is coordinator and member of UHV cell. Most important is he is PhD gold medal in computational mechanics and volunteer for Universal Human Values from June 2020. So with this introduction, I hand over the session to Dr. Ila Ji. Dr. Ila.
Thank you, Dr. Prashant, for the generous introduction of all of us. And also thanks to Dr. Sridarshini, who has introduced the UHV point of view for today's discussion on implementation of value-driven education. Thanks to both of you. Welcome to all the panelists, all the delegates, the tech team, and everyone. And we wish we have an interesting discussion on this 3rd day, 2nd session, that is the night session. This is the last, you can say, the evening of this conference, the 10th International Conference on Human Values in Higher Education. And as we have been listening to the keynotes, the keynote sessions, we have all been able to see that there are so many aspects to the implementation for value-driven education. So much has been achieved, but there is so much ahead that we can go. And this deliberation today, this panel discussion is so that we can all take guidance from each other and we can all be a part of a joint journey. Very happy to welcome our student, Teresa. Teresa, you here? Teresa, kindly keep your video on. That's my request. It'll help all of us. So I begin my first question to Professor Vivekananda.
Yeah.
With your rich experience, with your seniority and high position.
Okay.
My question to you is, how can higher education institutions integrate holistic world vision into the curricula effectively? I repeat the question.
Yeah.
How can higher education institutions integrate holistic world vision into curricula effectively?
Okay.
And you will, each of the panelists will get about 2.5 to 3 minutes,
Okay.
and we will all complete it within maximum 3 minutes. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Basically, yeah. Sorry to every this thing. I would like to start with one small verse. Ano bhadra kratavo yantu vishwatah. Let noble thoughts come to us from every side of us. Okay, that is the Vedic verse. Okay, I always begin with my Vedic verse, kind of. Okay. Uh, I was working with Kalamji for some number of years. So he was a fantastic Sanskrit expertise. So he used to say this every time. Now, your question was all about the integration of the holistic values and then the kind of. So the main challenge is that what the embedment of UHV into curricula or adopting the experiential and then what we call the interdisciplinary pedagogy, etc. Fostering the students' well-being and creating a value-centric institutional culture which allies with our policies also. The recent policy of our NEP 2020, part of the draft committee along with Kasturi Rangan, my guru, is no more. So I was with him for all these things. Anyways, so first of all, our focus should be the curriculum integration. That is being talked about in all these panels also, where mandatory value-based courses are, right from the first year across all disciplines, whether it may be BCom, BSc, engineering, stream, etc. All these disciplines, it should be mandated. Now, the second one is the interdisciplinary approach, infuse the ethics, sustainability, and the empathy into the engineering, commerce, medicine, humanities, etc. And our SDG alignment, sustainable, where we map the learning outcomes to sustainable development goals for the global relevance. We should not be that, because we are all talking about now Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, so that comes here, basically. Now, after this curriculum integration is all about the pedagogy, where the experiential learning, like people whom wherever I go across, I see the very senior people noting down, observing the present scenario and then commenting, etc. We have to take that. So that experiential learning will be a kind of service learning projects for the students, where we say that, hey, we have to note down this and then observe, do the analysis, and then drop down to the actual thing, what the essence, what they are saying, especially and internship with the NGOs and community engagement is all the part of this pedagogical innovation. What I would like to put forth and answer this particular thing. And I will not take much time. The social emotional learning also is one part of where the reflection circles are now the debates what happening, case studies, etc. to strengthen empathy and ethical decision making. Faculty development is the most important criteria, please, because training teachers to embody the and transfer the values through the teaching and mentoring is. And the last but one is the institutional culture, value, the centric governance and recognition programs should be there. Awards for students across the UHV implementation. We should select whomsoever have performed based on the metrics what we give. And the campus as a living lab, the campus itself as a living lab, so that how teachers are behaving themselves. They are only saying on the dais, no, how they are actually their behavior, etc. And student well-being, identity formation.
Thank you.
Social media alignment is one thing that we have to be very careful.
Thank you, Professor Vivekananda. We'll come back to you.
Thank you so much. Very nice.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Can we have Dr. Meenakshi Sharma ji? Are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. In what ways can we ensure that ethical conduct is practiced within campus culture and administration by all stakeholders?
Ma'am, as said rightly by Dr. Vivekanand sir also, that ethical conduct can be practiced here in the campus culture only when it becomes a shared value and lived experience. It should not be merely a written policy. It should go with a clear ethical framework and policies. Because we have seen that institutions have established and they should establish a well-defined code of ethics for students faculty, and staff. That covers the academic integrity, professional behavior, and accountability. So here we have to regular orient programs that can help these values from the beginning. As said by Dr. Shri ma'am also in the beginning, that we should go with the regular orientation programs. Then we can have this by having the model transparencies, fairness, and integrity in our decision makings. We should promote honesty in teaching. We should have the academic integrity practices where the learning and assessment is crucial. In the previous session also, and now also in the initial presentation, it was like the assessment part, which is very crucial. We should go with this one, the plagiarism awareness, fair evaluation system, ethical research that can create an integrity in the academics. The next, I can say, we can go and embed this curriculum through case studies, debates, role plays, and reflective exercises. As we know that now the Generation Z, they are more and more relevant and reflective towards the experiential learning. As said right by Professor Vivekanand sir also, that experiential learning that is relevant to each discipline and that apply ethical reasoning also. Then, apart from this, in an ethical campus, we respect the diversity, equity, and inclusions. We should have an open dialogue where we should encourage, as a stakeholder, the student representation in decision making. Although we have this thing in our IQAC, this pattern where the student representation is there, but regular student representation should be there. We should have a proper grievance redressal mechanisms and this thing, gender sensitization initiatives, which strengthen this thing, trust and fairness in an institution. As I said, that transparency, which is a most one, the transparency system in administrative processes. So, in nutshell, I can say that this ethical conduct becomes a living campus where there is a transparent systems, when the policies, practices, leadership, teaching, and community engagement work in harmony. Yes, thank you from my side, ma'am.
It was nice to hear Professor Vivekanand and Dr. Meenakshi both resonating similar points where both feel that value education is very important and that it must be practiced by all the stakeholders, efforts for policy making and experiential learning and so on. I think your points were very clear, both of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Now I have a question for Dr. Sandeep Kumar. Sandeep Kumar, are you there? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah,
How
ma'am.
can higher education encourage gratitude and social responsibility in students who are largely driven by achievement and competition? They are so busy with achievement, they are so busy with competition. So, how do we encourage them for this feeling of gratitude and this feeling of social responsibility in them? What are your views on that?
First of all, I would like to thanks that you people allow me to speak on here. And according to myself, students, even every human being have a competition with each other. But before that, the main theme of UHV saying that every human being are same. They have common desires, common thoughts, common needs. That's why we have to teach and make learn to students also that these are common for all. For feeling competition or feeling something else, you or we have not fight with each other, and we have to respect each other. We have to guide each other as much as possible. That's feeling we have generate to students from initial beginning. just like from induction program. And my fellow seniors said that, like, first of all, faculty have to develop own ethics, on things that they can deliver to the students also. That's It's a long journey, not a small journey. Just initial, we said it sanskara, or basic moral educations to students. We give the students such type of learning from our own homes initial stages. But nowadays, in homes also, and in institutes also, these values are lacking little bit from the past some years. I can explain it just like my own journey. I in 2005 from a government polytechnic. That time is a very respect for teachers from the student. They obey all the things, all the guidelines from the teachers. Then after I go to the job for industry from 2005 to 2009. There I have found that there's a very lack of ethics, lack of things. Senior junior relation is very complicated, and they are have competition feeling or insecurity feelings. Then after I did my BTech from 2012 from a reputed Hindu College of Engineering in Sonipat. At that time also I found that students little bit changed behavior as compared to my diploma time. They are not respecting teachers so much, but teachers are at that time also very strict about the academics and other things. But at that my academic curriculum I studied over there, there is no just like human value ethics and other subjects. After that, I joined a polytechnic college. There, I also found the same things. There's a very gap between students and teachers, and there's no moral values as compared to my past experience. Teachers and students, they have lack again. Then I did again my MTech. And in my MTech, I found mixed experience. Then I joined again the institute as a assistant professor.
Sandeepji,
Over there, I
kindly
work
be,
on this, especially in my.
Sandeepji, please conclude your point. Yeah.
Okay, sorry. So my main point is that nowadays I am found very lack in students and also in faculty. So that we have to prepare or guide students and faculty both in the starting
Yeah.
stages. If we
So
found new students
your point is well taken. You did begin with human being all being similar, the needs and all that. And what you try to say is that rather than competition, we have to encourage the right values in them. And
yeah,
you
from
gave your own
in students
example
and
of
in both teachers
how you have
also.
gone through your student life and your teaching life. So your point is taken well,
Yes, sir.
basically emphasizing in higher education and to encourage gratitude and social responsibility. I have the same
For that
question
we
to,
make.
yeah, I'll come back to you
Okay,
later.
okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Uh, I
Okay, ma'am.
have another question to uh, Mr. Abhishek Tripathi, Dr. Abhishek Tripathi. I think Abhishek ji, are you right now in
Yes.
Italy or in India?
No, right now I'm in India. I've recently completed my
Okay,
PhD.
completed it.
Yeah.
Fine. So, what role can faculty and mentors play in embodying and transmitting these attributes of gratitude to the youth?
Mhm.
The role of faculty, mentors, institution. How do we transmit these values of gratitude to the youth?
Yeah, so I think some of the things which could be practiced in order to uh, practice in terms of like transmitting the value of gratitude is like something I think which we could practice by like something like mutual teaching options if a student is good in one subject and another student is good in another subject, how they can teach each other. They do it in groups on their voluntary basis, but I think these things could be encouraged. And by doing some of these practices, like a student will recognize the capacity and the skill set of the fellow student. So vice versa, this could be incrementally could be seen as a process within the system. From the institution side, like I mean, I can give like one example is that when we are I think in India, we are very powerful in storytelling, and we can utilize the power of storytelling. But what has happened, I think, mostly in recent times, is that a lot of our stories we know, like from the surface. So I give an example of like, let's say, Abhigyan Shakuntalam. There is, if you ask common discussions, everybody knows what is the story of Abhigyan Shakuntalam, and there is a king and everything. But as an institution, if we also encourage to include some of the practices which are shown in this play regarding nature, like how the Shakuntala's father asked, the king that no, you cannot enter the garden, but you have to respect the garden, and so on and so on. So I think if we also include these aspects of our great storytelling, epics, and everything, I think they can understand that these stories is not just about the a hero and a actress or something like that, but more than that, and hence they will understand the aspect of nature, and they could be more receptive to such things. So
Thank you. Thank you. So I think the point that you pointed out and Dr. Meenakshi also pointed out is about case studies, storytelling, and so on. And we also have some very valuable points from Professor Vivekanand. Higher education must move from performance-centric to value-centric models, ensuring students become not just job seekers, but wise decision makers, peace builders, and agents of sustainable change. Very nicely framed. And Meenakshi ji also writes, regularly recognizing the efforts of students, faculty, support staff, and community partners through appreciation events, thank you notes, recognition platforms nurtures a culture of gratitude and mutual respect across campus. Yes, courses on and modules on ethics, environmental sustainability, constitutional values, and social entrepreneurship will help students to connect academic knowledge with social responsibility and long-term societal impact. Very nice. We'll take a little break with a student. Where is she? Has the connection gone, Teresa? Okay, we'll come back to her. In the meanwhile, I will ask a question to Lipika. Lipika, are you ready?
Yes. Yes, Dr.
How can student assessment systems be redesigned to include evaluation of values alongside knowledge and technical skills? So we are still evaluating information that they have maybe wrote it or understood or whatever. So alongside, how can we evaluate their values also? Any suggestions for student assessments?
Right. So, as we see the proposals of UHV, it's a self-exploration process. So one evaluation can be, I myself can evaluate myself, or do I have the choice to evaluate myself? Can I evaluate myself, right? So I can go through the self-exploration process. That is one part of it, and that's what we say, that we all have this natural acceptance to understand what is right and what is not right. So I can evaluate myself. That is one part, and secondly, we can also have this peer evaluation, right? So classmates. So each other can evaluate their, teacher or faculty. They anyway evaluate us. Other faculties can also evaluate us. Like, I was just listening to some, one of our mentors, and they said that, see, the teacher who is teaching the subject UHB, anyway they are evaluating, but others, teachers who are, the other subject matter expert, they are also evaluating the student, how their behavior is changing. So these are some of the assessments I think that we can do.
Yeah, nice. I have the same question for Teresa. In fact, I wanted to ask her before our feedback. However, I will repeat this question for you, Teresa. How do you think can student assessment be redesigned? Right now, the assessment is on what information you have understood or you have wrote it, by heart. So what assessment systems you think can be redesigned to include wherein the values also can be evaluated along with it, the values that are there in the student?
Yes, sorry, ma'am. Sorry for the delay from my side. Well, this question makes sense. Actually, we have been especially we are just going through universal value, and the question related to this assessment system plays a greater role. So the traditional system mainly focuses on how the outcomes matters on the answer script and how the student appears for the exam. But I guess rather than the ancient assessment systems, you can just go for the continuous assessment. But and in case of the universal human value, in generally in schools also, in our college there is a marking system. So for that case, you can just make it like you can't judge a person's personal or universal human values or human value aspects according to a grading system. So I guess for the case of this UHP based classes, this marking systems can be removed completely from the academics, and so that it can make students more active and make them more motivated or get inspired to say more about how they feel about each and every experience and how they could overcome. And I guess making more peer-to-peer learning or assessments as well as teamwork-based evaluations can also be implemented, because in case of a project presentation and all, there's a continuous evaluation as well as for the there is a project presentation-based assessment. So in that case, there is a process of continuous assessment. So in case of what generally rather than answer based assessment, one can implement the system of evaluating a student continuously, because maybe the student may not be able to attend the final answer maybe due to some reasons properly. So in that case, a continuous assessment can be a beneficial one. And I guess the approach of continuous assessment, or how they are tackling or how their decision making process works in the general classes, can be evaluated. And I guess that can be a game-changing plan for the Gen Zs typically.
Very nice. I have a question for Dr. Sunil. Dr. Sunil has been conducting many FDPs, so interacts with a lot of youth in the college and outside. So considering the strength of the Gen Z with whom you have been interacting so much, their tech savviness, their social awareness, their their innovation, how can these be harnessed to promote value-driven education?
Yeah, thank you for the question. Greetings to all the panelists all over the world. Well, the tech savviness has been in discussion from the very first day of this panel discussions for this conference. Now, the students are capable of doing several things, activities. They have learned a lot of skills, and they are imbibing, they are open to learn many other skills also. When this is rightly channelized by a teacher, by a mentor, this can be turned into, or this can be converted into fruitful results. For example, students know how to deal with the social media. Students know how to work with the videos, making videos, etc. Students know how to make applications, for example. So all these can be utilized to proliferate the value education, the proposals of value education. As an example, I would say that some of the socially relevant projects in which I am also involved, the students, they make small applications, small mobile apps. With the help of that, they do a survey, so maybe a social survey, it can be a civil survey, it can be like a questionnaire asking to the stakeholders, and finally coming to a conclusion regarding that. So that is one aspect. So for a very socially relevant projects, they can make their own applications and implement that. Then with regard to the proliferation of the value proposals, human value proposals, we can seek their help to make short videos. And there are many possibilities over there. Short videos means like there are for 3 minutes video, 5 minutes video, and there are videos already available in the uhb.org.in, and maybe in the YouTube channel it is available. So small videos with music can be prepared by the students, but each and every video can proliferate at least one proposal of the universal human values. These are all possibilities. And whatever activities they are doing, if the mentor is able to guide the students, these activities can be channelized to implement the human value proposal, so that their juniors also are able to see this is what is happening with them, and the possibility of practicing values is there, seniors as well as juniors. Yeah, that's my take on this. Thank you.
Very nice. So basically channelizing their tech savviness and their innovativeness will help in promoting value-driven education. That's very true. So I just wanted to also mention that there are certain interesting feedback that is also coming on the chat continuously, and the audience is finding the discussion very insightful and fruitful. So let's continue this panel. I have a question for Professor Vivekananda. I know he has put many messages and he would surely be wanting to respond to so many questions. But now I have a specific question to you.
Okay.
Although you are years apart from the Gen Z, but given the weaknesses of the short attention span and the instant gratification that the youth derive nowadays,
Okay.
how can educators instill patience, perseverance, deeper learning when they want it very fast and they do not have the patience to wait? So how can education, how can we convert this weakness of short attention span and instant gratification, how can we move it towards patience, perseverance, and deeper learning? Your insights, please.
Yeah, fantastic. This is a great point, because that is the main thing that problems the mentors face in the classes.
Yeah, just 1 second. Before we proceed further, this round will be a 2-minute round.
Okay. So I would like to state that, somebody was taking a call on storytelling. So we can get into the storytelling of our own life. Example. For example, we have to take that very recently, my lecturer or my professor or my teacher in my school days, he expired, and then I went to the last ritual ceremony, and I attended that, and I gave my last. So this is what we can take, and then that, if at all it is that videographed or whatever, that also can be shown in the class, stating that this is what. So we are grateful to our teachers, etc. So they will become so interested about the behavior of the teacher so they will get inculcated in such kind, and then you can take your subject, so that their attention is grasped, and then they are on the focus, and then take the live examples of the today's scenario, what is happening. For example, some problem in the corporations or the municipality corporations, etc. So we can take directly them to the this thing, and then solve the problems. Statistics, for example, we can take to the nearby gram panchayat, etc. Take the statistics, live data, make them work. They will feel interested in the subject. That is what we have to do. So otherwise, just bookish and then kind of syllabus oriented will not make them interested in make them.
Very nice. You have been stressing on this point of experiential learning.
Correct.
And what your suggestion is that taking them to dive into real life problems
Perfect.
and help and facilitating them that they can solve it.
Correct.
And making them work at it will help us to bring in more deeper learning, patience, and perseverance. Thank you so much.
Correct. Correct.
I have a question to Dr. Meenakshi. Opportunities with Gen Zs, especially the openness to diversity and inclusivity that you just mentioned. This generation is very open to inclusiveness and diversity. How can value-driven education cultivate this intercultural competence and empathy? You did mention about it, but can you suggest ways in which it can happen?
Ma'am, yes. See,
Just 1 second. I would also like to welcome Yerukai Guvejo. Yeruka, are you here? Yes, she's here. Just a minute. Is she on the panel over here? Can someone help her to get into the panel? Yes. Thank you. Yes, sorry.
yeah.
Please continue.
See, ma'am, onto this, what we are doing, practicing in our university at Bikaner, we are having students from different cultures, different languages, and with different economic backgrounds. So what we are doing here is that we conduct a regular interaction in classrooms. We give them a group projects and that campus activities that can reduce their this stereotypeness, and they have different viewpoints. Then we discuss the global case studies in our MBA sessions, and we go with the comparative perspective from the different cultural context understanding. Then, as said rightly by sir, that experiential learning we used to give them, but we encourage students to work with the students of the diverse backgrounds. By this, it enhances the communication skills, the adaptability, and the mutual respect among the students. This is what we are focusing on. And secondly, we have this thing, mentorship, where the students with the different culturals, they are guided through the discussions, and they show their reflective practices as we encourage them with the community driven projects. Through that, what is there, they are understanding their problems, their this thing, what the challenges are being faced, as we have adopted certain villages around the university. So this is how they are being given the sensitivity of it. And also, we are having a strong policies on equity and inclusions, and throughout this thing, board of directors, and where we have a good respect and fairness across the campus. So by adopting this respect, dialogues, and shared learnings, we are helping, and in our campus, the youth or the students, we can say, they are developing their competency, intercultural competency, and they are able, and they are
Thank
now
you.
collaborate
Thank you,
across.
Dr. Meenakshi. We'll come back again to you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, point is well taken. You have shared wonderful experiences of your institution.
Yes, ma'am.
We have a question to Yukai. Yukai, are you ready? Yukai, you have to unmute. I think your video went off. Can you put on your video and audio? You'll have to put both of it on. Yeah. If you say something, we will know whether you're audible. Are you audible? Are you able to speak? We are not able to hear you. Yukai, you've lost your sound? Okay, I think she's not able to hear also. So somebody can help her. I have the next question to Dr. Sunil Kumar. Sunil Kumar, as there are so many examples that were given on the Gen Zs, there's so many activities, projects, case studies, all these things that have been discussed. You have also been conducting the universal human values in your own institution. Do you find a difference in the way the students approach all these projects and activities while they are also being exposed to the theory? Because all these activities in the NSS and through all the clubs and all that has been happening. But do you think that there is a difference with the intervention of the proposals of universal human values, the value education?
Yeah. So this question could have been asked to Teresa than me because she's my student. So I would say that there is a difference when the students undergo the human value education. Then after that, whenever they approach a project or an activity, there is a difference. I can see this from some of my students, not all of them, I would say, but there is a difference. Particularly when we discuss regarding the harmony in the individual, harmony in the family, harmony in the society, and harmony in the nature and existence at large. When these proposals are well taken by the students, then this will reflect in their activities and the projects. For example, when they take some of the projects like, say, water conservation or soil conservation, or take up some projects in the nearby villages with regard to their technical interventions or otherwise, the proposals are taking a forefront. This I have seen. And particularly, whenever I offer a project to them, those students who underwent UHV or otherwise, one of the proposals of the human value education will be realized through that particular project. There are several examples. One of the projects in which I am involved is the rejuvenation of one of the biggest lakes in the country, Vembanad Kayal. So there, many of the projects which I propose through my students or otherwise directly, they are connected to harmony in the nature. Because there is a biodiversity, there is a ecosystem, and without doing any harm to all this, the technical interventions are being followed. There are many possibilities. Right now, I keep my words over here. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So, yes, I think what you emphasized was the theory gives them a better holistic view, and it gets more internal, and they are able to make better decisions from your examples. That is what we gathered. My question is to Sandeep, Dr. Sandeep. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
How do we address the impact of consumerism, social media culture, and misinformation on the value system of youth? There is a lot of impact of consumerism, social media, and naturally misinformation. So, how do we address that on the value system of the youth?
I am audible, ma'am.
Yeah, you are.
Okay. Uh, as I said before that, uh, basically, nowadays social media or consumerism is affecting everyone, not the only students. Uh, so again, we have to give basics about the things to the students that they have to understand them about the things that the main thing is how we can uh, make happy self and how can make happy to others and how can we feel comfortable and how can we make comfortable to others. uh, we have to not no hurry about or no worry about the things basically. And first of all, we have to be have emotions like that, and how can we deal the things. That's we have to train them as much as possible, that they don't go in such direction that they are make discomfort for on and discomfort to other also. Then we have to give some exercise or something, as my fellow said, we have to give some just like community internships, or community interaction as much as possible. We have to give them real world experience as compared to only just theoretical knowledge or only just theoretical knowledge, कि हम सिर्फ उनको थॉट्स ना दें, उनको रियल वर्ल्ड में ले जाके उनको प्रैक्टिकली चीजें बताएं, समझाएं कि ऐसे ऐसे ये होता है, आपको इन चीजों में डील करना है, और कल को आपके सामने भी ये चीजें आएंगी। तो अभी से हम उनको जितना प्रैक्टिस करा सकते हैं, मतलब रियल वर्ल्ड में जाने से पहले रियल वर्ल्ड में ले जाके, कि आपके साथ ये चीजें होंगी तो आप कैसा महसूस करेंगे, तो उनको जितना प्रैक्टिकल।
Thank you, Sandeep Kumar ji. I think what you were emphasizing was empathy, how they are
Yeah, yeah.
able to understand relationship and keep themselves in harmony and the others also in harmony, and through live examples, through community work. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I have a question for Abhishek.
Yes.
Are you there now?
Yes, yes, yes.
No, Abhishek is okay. So, Abhishek, what innovative pedagogies, like, for example, blended learning, experiential projects, service learning, what are certain innovative pedagogies that you would suggest that would align with the mindset of millennials and Gen Z? Because the same methods of teaching learning may not help. So, what do you think will be more effective?
Yeah, I mean, some of these innovative pedagogy could be introduced in the interdisciplinary aspect, I think. Like, this is what I also tried. I mean, like an engineering student, and when we talk to them about, let's say, some of these meditation practices or any well-being practices, so rather introducing them directly about, okay, this is a subjective aspect of well-being, this is ethics, this is nature. If an engineering student to be involved in projects where they have to design something which can be, record, or which can enhance, or which can, monitor the progress of, let's say, yogic meditation. So such projects or such introduction to an engineering student would be helpful, because he is introduced to such practices or through his own discipline. So an engineering, mechanical, or electronic student can be interested in understanding well-being through these interdisciplinary projects. And I'm just jumping into consumerism because that's very close to me. I was just thinking, some of the practices on consumerism comes from the easy availability of money. And in India, mostly, even, I mean, parents also, they don't encourage their young students, even after class 10, 12, not to start earning. So I think one way of letting them know that the value of money itself vis-a-vis consumerism could be to have some like part-time works they should do, whether at the college campuses or teaching tuitions and so on. I mean, this will also help them to understand that the value of money itself, which I think can also be encouraged. So such projects, and maybe also
So your emphasis was creating that sense of responsibility within them and
yes.
taking their own responsibility. Very nice. So I have my question to Lipika.
Yes.
How can value-driven education be embedded across disciplines and not confined only to humanities or social sciences?
Right, Dr. Rila. So what you're saying is that value-driven education involves holistic development through self-exploration. I would again emphasize on this self-exploration. So how can value-driven education involves holistic development through self-exploration, fostering clarity or right understanding, and ethical competence across all fields, right? And to embed it in STEM disciplines, institutions can integrate this universal human values into technical curricula by linking values like mutual fulfillment to practical applications, right? Such as designing sustainable technologies that prioritize harmony with nature. Okay, so strategies includes like interdisciplinary modules where engineering students explore this ethical implications of, let's say, AI or biotech, ensuring values that guide innovation rather than profit alone. For example, incorporate case studies on equitable STEM practices, balancing the orders of nature. So we can see that there are, physical order, bio order, animal order, and human order, right? So how can they, balance the orders of nature in projects? That there are faculty trainings via universal human values programs that can help weave values into labs and lectures, which can promote, this voices, which is creative, value-based problem solving. So this kind of shifts from silo teaching to the integrated approaches, which also aligns with our national education policy, which emphasizes on holistic and human education.
Yeah. So very nice. What you focus is that moving the mindset of the student to rather than only making profit to more socially productive projects, activities, and exposure to integrated teaching. I have a question to Yukai. Are you there, Yukai? Can you unmute? Are you able to hear
Yes,
me?
I'm here.
Okay. So my question to you is, what role can community engagement and service learning projects play in helping students internalize values like responsibility and environmental consciousness? And at this time, I'd also like to welcome you and Agrim. Agrim is our student. Yes. Yes, Yukai.
Okay, thank you so much. And apologies for failing to connect. I'll answer your question maybe in a scenario format, just giving you examples of what we are experiencing in this side and when we are dealing with our students. So you will see that we do not teach life skills or contract-based aspects as programs, modules, or courses, but these we teach through student affairs when we mainly look at workforce issues. But I do not need to have this as a mainstream. So the various social behaviors or maybe disciplinary issues that we find are a lack of the kind of concept of education that we are talking about. So having it or taking it aboard is quite essential because there are so many issues that have got to do with relationships. But if students have a content, if students are taught ethical aspects, you will also see issues to do with sustainability of various things, be it in the startups that they have, be it in the research projects that they do, be it even in the conduct that they will do when they go for internship or attachment in industry and commerce. So I might not have really looked at your question specifically, but I'm just trying to put and add a voice to the initiative that we would want to start. Hopefully I've answered you, Doc.
Yes. Yes. So what you rightly pointed out is that student strength can be included in internship and community work to bring about the values in them. Yes, Yukai?
So with this side here in Zimbabwe, what we do, our education in higher ed, our concept that we are dealing with, the philosophy that we are dealing with is sort of like 5 pronged, where we talk about teaching, where we talk about industrialization, commercialization, and the very community engagement that you're talking about. But the only aspect where we highlight community engagement is just when maybe only. But you see, when you make a comparative analysis with other universities, they are actually doing a program or a life skills program where they're supposed to interact with the community. But I think for my university, we have not done that. We only do that on voluntary basis. So maybe putting it in the mainstream would help us achieve like sustainability issues we're talking about, where people are conscious, people are ethical, people are responsible. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. Very rightly pointed out that beyond skill education, it is the values which are very important. And you did stress on the feelings and relationship. Very nice. I have a question to Agrim. Agrim, are you ready?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Yes. So, how do you think this partnership? Which year are you in, Agrim?
Ma'am, I'm currently in the second year.
Did you do any internships?
Not yet, ma'am, but I plan to in the summer
Okay,
vacations.
okay, fine. I'll give you another question. What strategies you think can make environmental consciousness a living practice for you youth rather than just a classroom concept? How do you think you will really put the environmental consciousness into practice?
I'm putting environmental consciousness can be done by associating it with the academical, profit. Or if we have to encourage the youth to pick up these alternatives instead of just focusing on competition, then we should also add some points or some credits regarding environmental association. For example, if a person has to do a project, then like if there's a mandatory mini project in colleges, then they can shift it down to two smaller projects, but then one has to be mandatory regarding to some environmental benefit, and they can submit two lighter projects, or else they can submit one heavier project. So like taking small incentives and making students work for the environment early on can help later on also, and this can be started from the school days itself, because in 11th and 12th also they ask us for projects. So like that, there will be a habit of students to do projects, and there will be some expertise while they reach college and acquire more skills.
Very nice. So basically, project work you think is really going to help you,
Yes, ma'am. In
and which
fact,
you think that should start from earlier ages.
I have a project, and in that project, as I'm interested in AI and ML, so I have first learned how AI ML works, and now I'm using real databases to actually predict and build a model that can find diabetes using a few criteria, a few parameters, not every parameter. So that is one thing that I feel is helpful for the society also. That's
So
the own initiative.
socially helpful projects, very nice. So
Yes,
creating that sensitivity and empathy and all that. Very nice. So I have a question to Teresa. Teresa, which year are you in?
I'm a final year.
So have you done some internships?
Yes, ma'am.
So how can partnership with industry and NGOs help reinforce ethical practices amongst youth right from the graduate level?
Okay, ma'am. Thanks for the opportunity. So basically, there is a major gap, like a gap between the academics or the student as well as a career. So in order to create a bridge, it's necessary to have an internship experience while you are in college phase. So when you are doing an internship, it's like a miniature of how you are getting an exposure to how the company environment looks like, or how the work experience is being depicted. So with the aid of this internship or such industry-based experiences, students are actually getting a real-time exposure to how the real-time ethical competence alongside the technical skills works. So in case of this internship or working in a company exposure, the universal human values play a major role, like how you can compete with other senior members, or how to work in such a pressurized field, etc., etc. So institutions can basically collaborate with the industries, and they can demonstrate how the business practices, or how the sustainability, or how the social accountability is being depicted. And also this kind of ethical internships or mentorship programs, also offering some seminars for students can offer students real world exposure of how the working culture prevails in the society, or how they are getting transformed to from being a student to a well developed career. So including this kind of ethical standards of having internship, like in most of the colleges, this internship is a mandatory thing. So this will have a social impact criteria, and it can be it can be very much beneficial for the students to work in the collaborative projects too. So I guess this will be very much helpful for the students to have great exposure to the business environment.
Okay, very nice. So basically, you're saying that exposure through seminars, workshops, giving the real world situation, understanding sustainability, will help you reinforce ethical practices. So maybe in the classroom, at the college level, first that exposure before you jump into industries, and this can be done in collaboration with industries, what you're saying, right? Nice, very nice. There are some points again. Professor Vivekananda has written forms of partnership, internship with value focus, students placed in industries with projects emphasizing sustainability, inclusivity, and ethical practices. So, Teresa, your points resonate with Professor Vivekananda's also. And also that he stressed on CSR collaboration, where students can join CSR initiatives like education drives, environmental projects, and health campaigns. Very nice. Also, mentorship programs that Teresa mentioned, industry professionals mentoring students not only in skills, but also in values like integrity and compassion. So it's like almost both of you have written the points together. Very nice.
Yeah, waste management. Waste management is one thing that they should also.
Sorry?
Waste management, reducing the waste.
Yeah. Ethics and action projects where students can propose solutions to the industry like waste management, fair trade, and so on. Similarly, even Dr. Meenakshi has expressed jointly designed curriculum with industry can integrate professional ethics, corporate governance, compliance standards, data privacy, and sustainability practices, ensuring students understand ethical expectations of the workplace. Very nice. We have the last rapid round, which will just be 45 seconds. And the last question is a common question to all. You can give your views on it. How can higher education institutions build a campus ecosystem where excellence is balanced with empathy and gratitude? I repeat the question, how can higher education institutions build a campus ecosystem where excellence is balanced with empathy and gratitude? It's a rapid round, 45 seconds. And this question, I begin with Teresa.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, so the question is like how I can just focus on how the campus.
How do you think higher education? What are your suggestions for the campus?
Okay. So basically, in case of this contribution of excellence along with empathy as well as the gratitude, basically from a UHV standpoint, excellence is not merely on how the achievement looks like, or it's not about how the excellence is being conducted. So it can be on basis of contributions as well as in the aspects of coexistence. So institutions must redefine success by recognizing not only the academic performance, but also in collaboration, social engagement, and also how each individual behave in the ethical aspects. So empathy and gratitude can be acknowledged and rewarded, and the students can develop a broader understandings of how the real definition of achievement works.
Very nice. You are, I think before time you completed your question. Very nice. Agrim, would you like to add your perspective?
Can
We
I?
are first
Can I?
wanting to
Within
hear the
45
youth
seconds, I
perspective.
promise.
Yes,
Can I?
Vivekanand.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, we'll come to you first. Let's listen to
Okay,
you.
okay, okay. Done.
I knew everybody wanted to add value to this question, and it'll be wonderful to hear everyone. So, Agrim, would you like to first go in?
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. So the ultimate goal is to produce high achievers who are also good human beings and kind human beings. We often view excellence and empathy as competitors, but that must be dismantled. This is a myth that cannot continue further, and we can balance these by redefining excellence itself. True excellence can include the ability to lift others. We can create awards for collaborative leadership and compassionate conduct of situations that are as important as the first place in academics, as people can understand. We must encourage a culture of mentorship where seniors help juniors, and this encourages a cycle of further help and gratitude. Thank you.
So, I think, Agrim, your point is very well taken, and you're very, very clear that competition has to be dismantled. So, I think SRM, you are from SRM, and universal human values education has been quite in depth, and you are still in your second year. But I think this perspective, this proposal you have explored, and you can really see that competition has to be dismantled, and that there has to be a feeling of collaboration where seniors help the juniors. Very nice. The point well taken. We'll start with now from the other panelists. We'll start with Professor Vivekanand. You have to unmute. So we can't hear you.
I will right now.
Yeah.
So I was trying to state that, because you have given me 45 seconds. Now, it is all about emphasizing the collaborative learning spaces, virtual and in-person balance, interdisciplinary projects and healthy work-life policies is what I would like to put forth, please. I will end up. Yeah.
Okay, very nice. And even Dr. Meenakshi resonates similar points where excellence should be measured not through grades, rankings only, and placements, pay packages, but also through ethical conduct, collaboration, social contribution, and emotional intelligence. Meenakshi, do you want to add anything more?
Yes,
You
ma'am.
have your 45 seconds.
Yes, ma'am. I'll add to this that not only with the students, the faculty and the mentors, they should demonstrate the kindness, the appreciation while maintaining this academic standards and the respect for each other, and should set a powerful examples, as already been said by two of our fellow members also, for students. By those examples, the students can pursue excellence, and that will not lose their humanity. So kindness, respect, and appreciation should be there for the students also.
Yeah. So I think you've added this point besides what you've already written.
Yes.
That mentors to be a powerful example. Extremely nice, very nice. Abhishek Tripathi, would you like to add anything to this point?
I mean, just one thing, like just to once the students are like on their path and successful, but I think to address when they are attempting and when they don't get what they supposed to get in terms of marks, and also how to address failures or attempts in a very reinforced manner, which could really enhance empathy and gratitude because it comes from their own confidence and things like that. So I think that's very important, that how we handle their attempts.
Yeah, and you also have emphasized on employing methodology where students can be co-teachers and their voluntary participation.
This I have practiced in my own teaching, so I think it was successful for me. So
yeah, very nice. Yeukai, would you like to add to this? How can higher education institutions build a campus ecosystem where excellence
Yes, sure.
is balanced with empathy and gratitude.
They could actually do this through recognizing and rewarding acts of kindness and understanding. And also, maybe when we are dealing with the leaders, they could model empathetic behavior because these young ones that we're dealing with, they learn from those who are senior.
Yeah. Thank you. So I think you also emphasized the same thing, where faculty and the mentors need to be mindful of their own behavior and so on. Thank you so much. We have Sandeep. Would you like to add anything to this point?
Yes, ma'am. I would like to add here that others said same. I'm saying that we have to do as much as interdisciplinary or interdepartment exercise with teachers and with students also. That they will collaborate each other and then understand the feelings of each other as much as possible. And just like some streams are soft inside soft streams that like CSC electronics, some streams are said hard streams such like civil and mechanical, and the feeling also generate in students like that also. And the students and even teachers collaborate with each others, and they found the differences and the main things, how they deal the things with each other. Then they can understand the feelings as much as possible, and
Yeah. Very nice,
good
Sandeep. You have
ecosystem maybe.
emphasized on the collaboration by the faculty with the students and how they can understand each other and develop a better relationship. Very nice. Lipika, would you want to add anything?
Yeah, I think I agree with all the panelists what they said. So um, we can foster this ecosystem of excellence, integrate this with empathy and gratitude. Like we can have gratitude circles, peer mentoring, where we can encourage reflection on excellence as continuous happiness. Uh, and with time, campuses, should prioritize ethical governance and this community building, right? We can create environment where empathy enhances this academic excellence. What Agrim was saying, that instead of competition, this collaboration, it has to enhance the academic excellence, and this aligns with this holistic development, which promotes undivided society.
Very nice. So we come to Dr. Sunil. Sunil Kumar, would you want to add?
I would just add one point, that's it. So the basic thing is understanding what is the meaning of excellence and what is the meaning of gratitude and empathy. So understanding this is very important. So value education has to be inculcated. That's a very basic thing. Alongside that, if every subject is recast in, say, value-based education, then this can be further extended to all the stakeholders. And the third thing is the value-based practice, as we proposed in the UHV point of view. When the institution is having the value-based practice in all the facets, then this is automatically embedded within. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think you hit upon a very important point. Understanding these terms in the real sense when we talk about excellence and all these is very, very important. And therefore, the importance of value education is definitely more and more emphasized. We have few minutes for the audience. If just about a minute or so, if there is any question. Anyone in the audience? There are a lot of appreciation messages for all of you all panelists, and the audience has found these very meaningful discussions. I would like to, there is one hand raised. Dr. Salim, can someone help him?
Yeah.
Yeah, Dr.
Good evening to
Salim.
the panel. Good evening, madam. Good evening to the panel. So I was just a minute. I'll take a minute. So as on the practical approaches to the all the solutions, whatever you're telling, we'll have to start with the small, but we have to be consistent. So there is a training the mentors is also required with respect to emotional intelligence. So we'll have to use the simple rubrics for collaboration, whatever collaborations or partnerships, whatever you're telling. And we'll have to see the leaders every day. And some of the mentorship circles has to be meant, that is faculty, seniors and juniors. This circle has to be made. So wherein another important point is practicing the empathy, that should be listening, including everyone, supporting everyone, expressing the gratitude to teachers and the helpers. So the faculty development program has to be done with respect to Gen Z psychology is from Gen Z itself. So that will be better because we have to understand the Gen Z's the mindset. So the faculty development program has to be done from Gen Z psychology, from Gen Z resource person itself is what actually I think, madam.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Salim. You've given a very good suggestion, and we can definitely discuss this later on in many of the meetings that we have for universal human values.
Yes,
We have regional meetings and all that. We can deliberate on all these points later.
Yes.
I would like to thank each and every panelist, Professor Vivekanand, Dr. Abhishek, Dr. Sunil Kumar, Lipika Mitra, Dr. Meenakshi, Yokai Kuviryu, Sandeep Kumar, and our dear students, Agrim and Teresa, who made this discussion very enriching. And also, I would like to thank all the audience and the interactions that have happened along with the tech team. Thank you, and I would like to hand over to Dr. Prashant Daigavid, who has been anchoring this session very well since the beginning. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Ina. Really, indeed, it was a very nice experience for me also. Though I was listening to all and taking the notes also. So the discussion went very nice, but the feather added in the cap of this discussion with this Yukai. So her language was somewhat this one, but she has given very nice inputs to this. And the Agrim, after traveling from distance, he could join the session also. So with thanks to all delegates, panelists. So I request you all to join the further sessions also, and there will be a final ceremony after this another session. So you please join there. So thank you very much. So let us say all of you a good night to you all in India, and others the good day. Thank you. Yeah.
Let's thank Dr. Ila also for the very nice moderation part.
Yeah. Of
Excellent
course.
moderation. Thank you.
Thank you very much to each one.
Everybody was excellent today.
And thanks to the larger volunteer team.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Possible. Thank you.
Thanks to Sridarshini Didi also for the nice UHU point of
Thank
view.
you, Dr. Prashant.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Ila. Thank you, Vivekanand sir. That was an excellent
Yes,
one.
thank you all everybody. Namaste. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Namaste.
Thank you, everyone.